The money is just a number in a database. That's what it is. And it's primarily an information mechanism for labor allocation.
The strength of a nation's currency is based on the strength of that nation's economy. And the American economy is by far the strongest in the world. Accordingly, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
This is BBC World News. I'm Karen Giannoni. Our top stories. Reports of explosions in the Ukrainian capital as Vladimir Putin announces a special military operation in Ukraine.
Whoever tries to interfere with us or threaten our country should know that Russia's response will be immediate and lead to such consequences that have never been experienced in history.
Only a dozen kilometers from the EU's eastern border, the Russian army is committing barbaric actions during its invasion of Ukraine. I will now propose to EU leaders the following measures. First, we commit to ensuring that a certain number of Russian banks are removed from SWIFT. This will ensure that these banks are disconnected from the international financial system and harm their ability to operate globally. SWIFT is the world's dominant global interbank payment system. Cutting banks off will stop them from conducting most of their financial transactions worldwide and effectively block Russian exports and imports.
You know, to use the dollar as a tool of foreign policy struggle is one of the biggest strategic mistakes made by the US political leadership. The dollar is the cornerstone of the United States power. I think everyone understands very well that no matter how many dollars are printed, they are quickly dispersed all over the world. What does the debt of $33 trillion tell us about? It is about the emission. Nevertheless, it is the main weapon used by the United States to preserve its power across the world. As soon as the political leadership decided to use the US dollar as a tool of political struggle, a blow was dealt to this American power.
US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says there are no good options for solving the debt limit stalemate other than Congress just lifting the cap. She spoke on ABC's This Week.
All I want to say is that it's Congress's job to do this. If they fail to do it, we will have an economic and financial catastrophe that will be of our own making. And there is no action that President Biden and the U.S. Treasury can take to prevent that catastrophe.
Let's dive right into the news, and we begin this morning in Washington, where a deal has finally been made over the debt ceiling.
We've got good news. We've got just spoke with Speaker McCarthy, and we've reached a bipartisan budget agreement that we're ready to move to the full Congress. It takes the threat of catastrophic default off the table, protects our hard-earned and historic economic recovery, and the agreement also represents a compromise, which means no one got everything they want. But that's the responsibility of governing.
So that's pretty much the way it is. Those who say that Bitcoin is a threat to the dollar have the story exactly backwards. I believe it is exactly backwards. Bitcoin is not threatening the dollar. The behavior of the current U.S. government is really threatening the dollar.
President Donald Trump has inched closer to fulfilling his promise to make the United States the so-called crypto capital of the planet. On Thursday, he signed an executive order to establish a strategic cryptocurrency reserve.
The unipolar system of international relations that served the interests of the so-called Golden Billion is becoming a thing of the past. It's being replaced by a more equitable, multipolar world. The process of changing the global economic order continues to gain momentum. Everything indicates that the model of liberal globalization is wearing out. The center of business activity is shifting towards emerging markets, which is triggering a powerful wave of growth, including in the BRICS countries.
O mundo precisa encontrar jeito de que a nossa relação comercial não precise passar pelo dólar. Quando for com os Estados Unidos, ela passa pelo dólar. Mas quando for com a Argentina, não precisa passar. Quando for com a China, não precisa passar. Quando for com a Índia, não precisa passar. Sabe, quando for com a Europa, discute-se euro. Ou seja, ninguém determinou que o dólar é a moeda padrão. Em que fórum foi determinado? E, obviamente, que nós temos toda a responsabilidade de fazer isso com muito cuidado. Os nossos bancos centrais precisam discutir isso com os bancos centrais dos outros países, mas é uma coisa que não tem volta. É uma coisa que não tem volta. Tá? Isso vai acontecendo aos poucos e vai acontecendo até que seja consolidado.
BRICS was set up to degenerate our dollar and take our dollar as the standard, take it off as the standard. And that's okay if they want to play that game, but I can play that game too. So anybody that's in BRICS is getting a 10% charge.
Is that a need?
And if we lost the world standard dollar, that would be like losing a war, a major world war. We would not be the same country any longer. We're not going to let that happen. The dollar, you ever hear the expression, dollar is king? The dollar is king. We're going to keep it that way, okay? And I'm just saying, if people want to challenge it, they can, but they're going to have to pay a big price.
They should have.
And something that just crossed, Caroline, how mad do you think President Trump is going to be when he finds out that Elon Musk said, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it."
Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it. Cameron.
Thank you.
So, you know, I was like disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, doesn't decrease it, and undermines the work that the Doge team is doing.
I actually thought that when this big, beautiful bill came along. I mean, like, everything he's done on Doge gets wiped out in the first year.
I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. My personal opinion.